Hey, good morning. No, good afternoon. It's 12:25 on Wednesday, I believe. Hello, everyone. My name is Jack Heslin, and that's kind of an odd camera angle. That's a little better, I think. And I run a company called J3D, providers of desktop 3D printers and 3D printing services. A very, very brief background here. I spent about 2 years working for MakerBot, which was just an outstanding experience. And during that time, got to work with some very well-known manufacturing companies and some well-known schools and how they use 3D printing technology and resources to either further their product design or their curriculums. And after leaving MakerBot in October of 2015, I launched J3D Services. So during that time, we're doing okay. We're getting the company up and running. But what we're starting now is called the J3D Daily Digest. And the purpose of this is to share with people who either use or have an interest in 3D printing about some of the changes that are coming along in the industry. It is literally true that there are changes every day, new manufacturers, new filaments, new applications. And I review a newsletter every morning called 3dprintingindustry.com. I read some articles, I work my way through some books. And what I thought might be helpful with this daily digest is to maybe pick one or two items that I think people might find interesting. And there was one last week that really jumped out at me. It was about Fuji Film. The article in 3dprintingindustry.com, Fuji Film makes move into, we have someone here named Devinder. Hello, Devinder. Thank you for joining us. I'm sorry, 3dprintingindustry.com had an article, Fuji Film makes move into 3D printing industry. That jumped out at me for a couple of reasons. The point of the article was that Fuji has not developed their own 3D printers. They're not going to start making filament. What they're doing is leveraging their existing resources as a provider of technical support to photo processing equipment and other kinds of office equipment. They're leveraging that expertise they already have to get into a new industry, 3D printing, which has a tremendous future. And I thought, I know for a fact that there are many companies, manufacturers, architects, schools that have many different kinds of 3D printers. And since 3D printing is an evolving technology, things go wrong. Prints fail. Parts have to be replaced. And you call this company for their support, you call another company for their support. So I can see where for a large organization that wants to simplify that process, having one number to call to support your 3D printing equipment and resources could be very appealing. What jumped out at me about the Fuji article was that their goal is to remain brand neutral, not to say we're going to support just these printers and not these. Now that's a pretty big bite of the apple to take, but they certainly have the resources in place. And that ties into the second reason why this article caught my attention. This is kind of on the personal side a little bit, but in the late 90s, I worked for Sprint, the telecom carrier. And it just so happens that I got to work with Fuji Film. And what I was part of the account team that supplied Fuji Film with all the toll-free routing services so that their customers using their photo processing equipment could call the Fuji support desks around the country and always get technical assistance if there was a problem with the equipment. Now, I remember very clearly that this was a very complex system. There were thousands of these photo processing machines out in the world, Walmarts and other retailers. The toll-free routing table was very complicated. It had to be originate by area code and then coordinated by part of the country, coordinated by time of day, so that from East Coast to West Coast, these toll-free numbers would seamlessly route from one call center help support team to the next. As I said, it was complicated, but it worked extremely well. And when I saw this article about Fuji, I thought, this is brilliant. This is absolutely a brilliant move. A company with established resources, the toll-free routing, the technical field assistance, the call center support, leveraging all that infrastructure that's already built, and now they're going to apply it to a new industry that will also need a lot of technical support, and an industry that has an extraordinary future in front of it. So I just thought that was absolutely worth sharing. And where J3D comes into play here is, I said, you know, we carry printers like MakerBots, Airwolf, the Mendelmax. We align with 3D printing service providers and 3D scanning companies. And I know from my conversations with our customers, which are manufacturers, schools, educators, that there's a real gap here that Fuji could be filling. So I was just enormously impressed with that strategic move. I thought it was worth sharing. If you'd like to know more about us, please visit us on the web, www.j3dservices.com. There's a contact form on there if you'd like us to contact you. And if you'd like to share stories about how you use 3D printing, or if you have questions about how 3D printing can benefit your organization, be it a company or a school, we'd love to talk to you about that. Thank you very much. Have a great rest of your Wednesday, and we will talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.